Hi guys, my name is Amogh, and for this video I am joined by two of my very dear friends, RPM Universe and Azimo. Say hi guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Right, so the aim of this video, I will explain that. The aim of this video is to explain and talk about the burst of speed event, which will be, I think, by the time this video is published, that event will be out, or in a few days it will be out for you guys to access. Now, what exactly is burst of speed? It is a time limited event which features a certain set of cars which the players can spend their tokens on and get access to those cars, and usually the cars that are featured in this event are pretty good. So what we will be doing in this video is we will be testing each of those cars and giving our thoughts and reviews about it, so that you guys can have a very conscious decision on which car is good for you and which car you should actually spend your tokens on. So now I will be explaining how the pack system works in game. If you head over to the shop into the limited time pack section, you will see burst of speed packs somewhere around here. So burst of speed packs are multi packs and they will feature a set of cars. You will see it on your screen now. So I will be adding this in editing. So the first multi-pack will consist of the Imola, the Owl and the Chiron SS Super Sport 300 Plus. The second multi-pack is going to feature the Lamborghini Countach, the Mercedes Vision 111 and the Bugatti Mistral. So these will be two multi-packs for the Burst of Speed event. Now, Burst of Speed event is actually a very good event to get access to good cars, and the reason for that, especially with the new pack system, which I will explain in a moment. The reason for playing Burst of Speed and actually getting cars through Burst of Speed is that the cars that are featured are very useful for multiplayer or either events, and that's pretty much it, to be honest. And what the new pack system is, let me explain that as well. So Gameloft has made some changes to the pack system in a good way, and what used to be a thing in the past was that whenever like a certain multi-pack would come, and what a multi-pack means is it's a pack in shop which has multiple featured blueprints of cars. Okay, so there are multiple different cars and there are featured blueprints for each of those cars. Now these cars could be used for a special event or usually a burst of speed event. So these set of cars, what used to happen was that if I would buy a pack, and even if I had like one or two cars among the featured cars at max, I would sometimes end up wasting my tokens on blueprints that I did not actually need anymore. So now what Gameloft has done is that once you have a certain car from a multi-pack at max, it will only give you blueprints for the car that you actually need. So in the case of this particular multi-pack, which is for the Countach, this is not a burst of speed pack, but it does feature multiple cars. So if I open a pack, it will only give me blueprints for the Lamborghini SC20. I will show it through a test. Let's just buy 10 packs. And it will only give me blueprints for the car that I actually need, which in this case is the Lamborghini SC20. Wow, I was not expecting that, to be honest.
Jackpot.
But I think this is good for an example. So yeah, so this is what the change is. Now this is going to be the same thing for burst of speed as well, and I think this makes the value proposition of those packs very good. And the reason for that is, let's say if you have like 20,000 or 30,000 tokens to spare on one of the multi-packs. So let's say if you have two of the cars at max and you need a single car, you can just spend on the pack and max that car. So it's still going to be a very useful event for a lot of you players, and you will not end up wasting your tokens on any of the cars that you want. Now, who this event actually is for, I think it would be better if either Universe or Azimo can explain who this event is actually meant for.
I'll explain it. So the event is aimed towards players who are who has a decent sized garage, but they have saved up a lot of tokens, at least 30,000 tokens, so that they can actually spend all of their I mean, not all of them, but like some of them on either pack 1 or pack 2, so they can get good value on it.
Right. So yeah, that's a pretty good explanation. So let's start by testing the cars. Now, since I am a official member of the creator program by Asphalt, I have access to all the cars that are currently present in the game, and I will be doing just that with this special event, which is exclusive to the creators, and I can test drive and just fool around with any car I want. So let's start with the Countach. This car will be featured in the burst of speed, of course. So what are your initial impressions on the Countach, guys?
Okay, so the car is really smooth. Like it drifts really well. It has good nitro, decent acceleration. It's not slow at all. It's just a really well-rounded car.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
pretty
actually
much
pretty
agree.
valid. True. What about you, Azima?
Well, I'm pretty much agreed with the universe. It's a really smooth car, one of the kings in A class for sure. One of the best cars for twisted tracks if we take like entire class in game.
Anything that you guys don't like about it?
Lower... Oh,
Anything that you guys do
just
not like
needs-
about it? So, anything in particular?
maybe it just needs ton of epics to actually be good. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's true. I mean, like there are many cars. There's one pattern that I've noticed with the cars that are featured in this event, is that every single car that is on in this that will be featured in this burst of speed, it requires epics to perform well. I can say this for
no.
literally every car. So there's the Imola. We have
Well,
the.
Imola is great without epics.
I mean, but it's still pretty slow without epics. I've noticed this because like I had an Imola without epics.
No. If you compare the Countach and the Imola performs way better without epics. I think. I don't really play much with the epicless cars, but
Oh, wow.
I can pretty much see the difference.
Yep.
I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
the car is also in
it's really
A-class
planted.
elite.
Oh yes, true. That is the thing. I mean, I don't think how many players actually play or like try to get these cars to play in A-class elite, because like I think the elite events have lost, their eliteness,
Yeah,
if that's the right way to describe it.
Yeah, players surely care about like 50 tokens each week. Wait, each month. It's crazy.
It has redeemed itself. So I mean, I think one of the drawbacks of this car, I don't know if it's fair to call it a drawback, but it's just that I feel that this car is too planted. If you compare it to something like the Imola, that bounciness in the suspension that car has, I think I'm able to abuse that particular thing about that car better than this car when it comes to like floaties and nitro punching or using the terrain to my advantage to like keep a very high speed drift. It's just something that I can't do with a Countach, I feel. And plus also it being like really epics dependent, like Azimo pointed out a few moments ago. It needs a ton of epics, and I mean, I think that's a huge drawback for this car. Now, given the stats, I think the top speed is pretty good for an A class. The acceleration, handling, nitro, etc. Everything is good. But like the strongest start of this car, I would feel, is the handling and the way the suspension reacts to the track. It's very planted and it's very firm to the ground. So if you are, let's say, if you just happen to be a touch drive player, or maybe like just a veteran, maybe you can be an average player, right? You don't have to be a pro, but you will still do well with a car like this, as compared to something like the Imola or the Vision 111, which is also one of the featured cars. Yeah, so epics problem aside, it being too planted, I don't think that's really a problem. I think it's just about personal preference more than a problem. I would say like this car is a great choice for straight tracks or twisty tracks as well, because of the stats that it comes with. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, is there anything else to add, guys? What do you guys think about the Countach? If there's anything else on your mind?
If you're looking for an elite car, it's a better choice compared to Imola. That's pretty much it.
And why is that? Like, why is it better in elite? Actually, I'm curious
Because
as well.
Imola is kicked out.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
That's
Good point.
It's
Okay.
true. It's true.
True.
Also, you just compare the stability and the fun part. So the Imola is more fun to drive. The Countach is extremely stable. I said godly.
Godly. Okay. And universe?
I would say it's bouncy.
Godly and bouncy. Okay. I should actually I should come up with a word. I mean, it would sound weird, but I would say butter smooth is what comes to mind when I play with this car. Because like even though Countach is something that should be better suited to that word, but I still feel the Imola it's just a lot more nicer because of the playstyle that I have. I like to spam floaties a lot, and this car does them really well. Wow, nice start.
Skill issue.
Skill issue, mad. Okay, so initial thoughts and impressions, guys.
The best A-class ever been added in the game.
Is this some personal affection that I'm sensing towards the car?
Yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's up there. Definitely.
Which car is better than why then?
I would say I have a few cars in mind. XJR9 is definitely one of them, simply because it's way faster. And the other car that I have in mind is the 111, which we will be covering later. And yeah,
It's just the floaty of this car, man. It's so good. I mean, this is why I was saying smooth. Okay, it's what comes to my mind when I'm playing with this car. Because I used to spam this car a lot in Clash, and I agree with Azim. Okay, like one of my favorite A-class cars, and like I had a ton of fun with this car even without epics. It was just the floaty. It's just something that is unique to this car, and like even though like people compare it to floaties of other cars, some specific cars to be exact, but like I think it's a completely unique example of a car that can do nitro punches and floats. Because like
I remember. Yeah.
because like there's nothing else in A class that feels quite similar to this. Yeah, that was it. What you were saying, Universe?
I mean,
I remember you beat Future Flash without epics. Future Flash has.
Yo, without epics, I mean, Azimo's point where like this car doesn't require epics, I think it does hold true because of that, but it was still very difficult. That's what I feel. Okay, like I feel that it does need epics, and it's because
right. Can I say right?
yeah, say what you were saying.
I mean, you can't really like say the car is great without. I mean, it's good enough, but you still better get epics for it because it becomes even better.
Yeah, that was what I was targeting back when I was playing with
It's,
this
like,
car.
really obvious.
Because like the acceleration, it's I think with epics it reaches up to like 81, but without epics it's like below 80, and you can feel the difference when it's good accelerating off the line. It's like 80. Okay, it's 81 with overclock I think, and 80 on gold. But even one epic, if you just take off just one epic from the acceleration stat, it reaches it goes down below to 79, and that's, trust me, I don't know if it's something about this game or this car in particular, but like the difference between 79 acceleration and 80 acceleration is noticeable. I don't know even if it's just a single value, it's a single digit, but the difference is still noticeable, and that's what I felt when I was playing with this car. On to the next car, that is the Mercedes-Benz Vision 111. Now, this is the third A-class car that will be among the multi-packs for Burst of Speed, and initial impressions, I'm really not interested in this car, and the reason for that is, even though it says like it has 83 acceleration, it's not really that great off the line.
Really?
Yeah, and handling wise it can do floats, okay, but it's not a float like Imola. I would say like the best A-class car in this Burst of Speed is the Imola, in my honest opinion, because like Countach, you have to have every single epic for it. If you do not have it, you're screwed. That car will perform like a 5-star car even if you have it at max. The Imola is at least somewhat usable even without epics. Even though it's like really good with epics, it's still usable. And this car, I think it's the same situation, the same scenario as the Countach. You need a ton of epics, and even with epics, it's still really underwhelming. Given the stats, the nitro is pretty mid, honestly, 57, and we have like what 70 something on the Countach, and
Gameloft butchered this car before it even.
really true. I mean, if the editor can bring up the old stats for this car that they actually planned to release it with, and then what we actually ended up getting, night and day difference. Because like if this was, if this had the pre-nerf, or like the, actually it should not technically be a nerf, because like we never got those stats, we only saw it in a picture. But if we got the original stats, this would have classified as a S-class car. Let's be
Yes,
real,
definitely.
right? So what we saw versus what we got. So I mean,
It's like more close to a Rimac Concept S.
true, actually, a Rimac Concept S, it would be very close to that. Do we have any other colors on this thing?
Not really.
I mean, oh, it's just the
Yeah.
orange one. Okay, fine. So I'll just go with the orange one. What do you think
Honestly,
of this
I
car?
I like this car a lot
And why is that?
because it's fast. It's faster than the Imola and the Countach. It accelerates faster, but it's not like broken. And the nitro is good, but it's not like off the charts. It's just average. Like this car is not something that you would consider overpowered unless you drive it really well. And I like that part a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's consistent, but it's not like Countach level, but it's not as unpredictable as Imola. It's just the middle ground, and
Do
I
you
like that
feel
part.
like, you know, just having that extra top speed over the other cars, that is somehow a better thing for this car?
Paired with that 83 acceleration, even though you said it's not really 83.
That's what it feels like. I might be wrong. I mean,
It-
somebody can
I
correct
think
me
it-
on this.
It matters a little bit because it gets to speed faster.
Because
And
like you get the real acceleration at some point after, like, I think after the initial acceleration is done.
yeah, like the gearbox, right?
Yeah, it's just a gearbox thing. The acceleration is real, but like kind of, because you don't actually get it off the line. That's what I feel, because of the gearbox.
And this car punches okay.
Yeah,
not-
okay would be the right thing.
Use a white paint. Let's see.
Use a white paint. True. Let's do that. This is literally the Apple mouse. I think we have. I think Mercedes. The people at Mercedes should be worried, because like Apple will be sending them a notice or something because of this. It does look like Apple mouse.
A DMCA request.
Oh my god.
Take this down, or else I'm gonna
Or
send my
else.
lawyers.
I will see you guys in court.
And there's a bag at the back. Like there's a bag, like whatever bag that is. Is that the bag? Yeah. Yeah, there's a bag there. Let's test the owl first, I guess.
Okay. Universe says owl. What about you, Azimo?
Yeah, let's start with the hot garbage. So with all,
Let's start with the hot garbage. Already, he has brought the cannons out. Okay.
I didn't say that, but I agree.
It is hot garbage. Oh, people are going to bring out the
it's
pitchforks.
kind of a subjective thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good car, but I just don't really like it myself, so I'm gonna say it's bad.
Me too.
I think we should highlight why exactly this car is hated as much, right?
Yeah.
Because there is Rymak Time Attack, there's Gimera, there's
Yeah.
Deus.
There's literally
There's
so
a-
many cars that I would pick above this.
Yes.
There's also the Tushek.
It's just there. I mean, this car is just there.
And also the Zinger. The Zinger is also another car that beats this.
Yeah, the
It's-
Zinger is cracked. So it's kind of like, no, the drifting is pretty bad, but the car is.
I mean, if it has a little bit worse drifting, it's gonna be like the Farday.
I mean, I don't know if us hating on this car, it's valid, but like, it's still a pretty good car. I mean, I would say like nice. Oh my, oh.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's still a good car for Gauntlet and for multiplayer.
Actually, yeah, for Gauntlet especially, I would say, and then Classic MP, not Ghost or anything else. It's
I
just
just don't
that
like
the
it.
biggest drawback I feel, right? I think we should highlight
I
it in some way.
I would say it's like pretty good for an MP, but for Gauntlet for sure.
Yeah,
Like-
this car is definitely up there.
Okay, I was expecting this car to flip on the wall ride, but it did not. Like my biggest problem with this thing is the wall ride. You know, it's like a Chiron 2.0 in that regard, because it just loves to climb walls, and I can play with the Rimac Nevera, which is like what an alternative to this car. I mean, this is the alternative to Rimac Nevera, to be fair, because like it came afterwards, and the Nevera is still in many ways faster, and it's a lot more stable on walls. Because like if you are doing techniques like wall riding, you are going to flip with this car, guaranteed. While if you are doing something like that with the Nevera or the Time Attack or literally anything else, even the Gemera, actually like the Gemera also flips on walls kind of, but literally anything else is going to be more stable than this car. Only on walls. Okay, I'm not saying that this car has physics issues, but the wall climbing issues are there, and wall riding is something that commonly people that have access to cars like these, they tend to do a lot. So I feel that it's like if you have this car, and like if you happen to like this car, you know, I mean, nice opinion, bro, but like there's just so many things that are better than this car. And like at the time of recording this video, we have the special hunt for the Rimac Nevera Time Attack, and I would pick that car over this car, because like instead of spending tokens to max something like the Owl, I can spend a lot less on tickets and just end up maxing the Nevera Time Attack and get every single epic for that car, mind you. The value proposition is just insane on the Rimac Nevera. Do you feel this car is epic dependent, guys? I don't have enough experience with the Owl, but I definitely have enough to say that what are things that I do not like about it. But
I
is
would
there...
say the handling improves a lot, but it's still bad with epics.
Is this like a thing? I mean, I've noticed this on many cars. Like applying handling epics actually gives it a very big boost to the drift speed, the average drift speed.
It's the same with the Nevera as well.
Like you get a huge boost in the drift speed, right? It's like 4 kilometers per epic, if I'm correct.
Yep, almost like similar.
Crazy. How is this car decent, bro? Like, and how's this?
No, it's not.
Shut up, shut up. The only issue with this thing is gearbox. It just slows the car down a lot at the beginning.
Yep, I agree.
So the Excel does not feel like 83 at all.
So how does that make it decent? We should call it garbage then.
No, it's got pretty much decent drifts. The nitro is enough for it. The top speed is kind of like high, I guess. I mean, it's not high end, but it's high for the class.
No.
It's still pretty enjoyable.
No,
to drive,
no.
so I
It's
think
like
decent.
no.
Top speed is not
Yeah,
very far.
universe, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean,
I think it's 483 or so with the nitro. So
I
it's
think this
pretty
car is going
decent.
to make us fight each other, and then like there will be a very hostile environment between us three, and then we will not be friends anymore because of this car.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, things are heating up. I can sense that. You know, I mean, Azimo thinks this is a great car, and I feel I mean, it's just not.
Man, I've tried to like this car. I've used it multiple times in MP. I got this car gold, and all I did is keep losing rating, and I switched to another worse car. I switched to the Chiron, the normal Chiron, and I start winning races again. That's how bad it is, or maybe skill issue.
It is not decent drift, okay, Azimo. This is not what I call decent. This is what I call dog shit.
Well, this is what it is.
Dog
I
shit.
tried to
then.
punch it. No, it's decent. Yeah, I'd say it holds speed quite a while. Try it in pudding.
I don't know, man. I think for 5000 rank, okay, Azimo said that okay, it has decent speed. It doesn't. it's 5,000 rank. We should address that. That's a very high rank for not a car that has very high performance. What comes around it usually? 5,000 rank. We have Venom. We have
Nah, Venom is it's too much for a comparison with this car.
we
Like,
have I mean, I'm talking about strictly from a rank standpoint, even though like it's not, it doesn't matter that much.
Tuatara Striker.
Oh yeah, true.
What did
Yeah.
you say about that?
Okay, yeah, this is better than the Tuatara Striker, to be honest.
I mean, speed-wise, it's almost the same.
I mean, but I would prefer this over the Tuatara Striker. But like, it's like, they are offering you two things and both of them are shit. So, which one is less shit? If that's a choice ever.
I would pick-
Definitely the Tuatara.
Yeah. But I would still not pick
Yeah.
any of the two. It's like, I would like, no thanks, I'll pass. Because like, if I have to spend thousands of tokens to max a car, and this car needs a key. Okay, let's not forget.
Oh,
It does need a key,
right.
I don't think from a value standpoint, or from any standpoint, it's a very smart choice to get this car. I mean, sure, if you're like a millionaire, like a Zemo, maybe you can have this car, but I don't know, man. I mean, with these stats,
Right, the
Nah.
conclusion is if you don't have it, pass it. Better take Oval. Even though it's like not good. I mean, it's good for Gauntlet, but whatever. It's
I would say like it
sure.
doesn't look ugly. Okay, from a look standpoint. Okay, from a point of view purely based off of looks, it looks very nice. But like anything else is just bad.
If this car really goes 300 plus miles per hour, then I would
True.
maybe recommend it. But it's not.
It doesn't. Yeah.
It's like 297. Or
Tops.
295, I guess.
Yeah, tops.
It's
What are your thoughts on the Mistral?
it's like a LVN clone.
True. It is the Albion clone, but like better or worse? That's a valid
I would say
question.
similar, honestly.
What do you think, Azimo? Is it similar?
No. The drift wise, the LVN feels better, but it's kind of more wide. I mean, what can I say? The car just. I get the LVN holds the speed better, but it goes like really wide sometimes.
Yeah,
Mistral has
this-
like higher top speed. I think the Nitro is pretty much the same, but overall I think the Mistral could perform better, unless it's some acceleration based track, because it's like 81 against like 80, almost 85.
Yeah, you see, it
I would
retains the speed quite well. Not as well as the LVN, but it's still good enough for it to outperform that car in some situations.
It's kind of equal, I guess.
I mean, won't you say like you could confidently beat a LVN in a car like this?
I'm not sure.
I would honestly. I could beat a LVN in this car. Just purely abusing the top speed.
I'm not sure, but I just gotta go with the Mistral as being better. That's it. It could be pretty much close.
I think
but I
there
think,
is
like,
one
Mistral
aspect.
could
I
win
think there's
more.
one aspect that we're not considering. Okay, the acceleration difference is actually quite big. It's like,
Yes, the LVN feels like way faster than 84, I think.
yeah, it feels at least 86. That's at least off the line. And like,
Yep.
It definitely it's a gearbox thing, obviously, but it's still it. Even if we take acceleration out of the question for a second, like let's say if we are talking about Ghost MP or something, like there are lots of tracks where you can get airspeed off the start line and you can catch up to LVN in no time because of the speed difference. I think that's why I thought that this car can I can take on a LVN with a car like this. Look how good the speed is actually.
480.
Yeah, I would definitely spend my tokens on this thing if I had to max it.
And also,
Yeah, they
even for players who don't have enough tokens to max it, even at 1 star, it does really well in MP2 because
True, brother.
it has an insanely low rank, like I guess 3k, like just shy of 3k, I guess.
Burst of speed is something that a lot of people play the event or spend their tokens in that event is because they want to get cars that are useful. They don't want cars that are average, right? So given that what is actually being featured in the upcoming burst of speed, definitely Imola is a solid choice for A class. If you are looking to have A class cars, the best car I would recommend is Imola, then the Countach, and the least recommended car would be the Mercedes Vision 111. For S class, I would say the best car would be the Mistral, then the second best car would be the Owl, and the third best car, which is technically the worst car in the entire burst of speed, and that is the Chiron SS300 Plus. I would personally prefer the Mistral over the Owl, and that's only because we have the Nevera time attack special hunt that is going on in the game. It lasts for the next 11 days. I think by the time this video is posted, it will still be up. And this car, I would say, is a lot better from a value standpoint than the Owl. So if I had to choose between this car or the Owl, I would still choose this car purely because of the perks it has. It has better stability. It has very similar performance. In some situations, I can actually outperform my Owl, given that you have the skills. So overall, I would much prefer the Mistral in burst of speed over the Owl or the SS300. What do you guys think? Let's start with Azimo has been quiet, so let's start with Azimo's opinion.
Sure. Depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for an event, that's probably the Mercedes and the Owl. If you're looking for an enjoyment, it's probably the Mistral and the Imola.
Okay, that's actually a very nice way to look at it.
And good and stable car, you're looking for the Countach, and one of the cars I mentioned before from the S class, either Mistral or Owl. And if you really got nothing else to spend on, you just go with the Chiron. Even though it's decent, it's really worth way less than any other cars from the burst of speed.
True, I think Azimo has redeemed himself from the L take that he just gave us a few moments ago on the Chiron when he said it was decent. It's not decent.
It's decent. It's just not.
Oh my god, it's not. It's just not.
Alright, move on. Let's
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get to the universe.
Yep, straight to me, huh? I would say, if judging by A class pure on value, then I would say Countach is the best because Countach is featured in a lot of MP1 especially, and that car can perform really well in MP. It competes with cars like the SF90, even Icona in some cases, and it really helps you climb up the leagues, especially Platinum 1, where the competition can be really tough. And it is also available in Elite Class A events, so maybe if you're considering that, then the Countach could be good for you to aim for. The Imola is the best car in the entire Class A. By no means it's a easy car to drive. It takes some practice to get used to, but it's a car that can be really rewarding, and the 111 is just a really well-rounded car that I really like. And as for the S class,
yeah, you were saying about the S class, true.
As for the S class, I would say if I have tokens and I don't have any of these cars in Class S, I would first aim for the Mistral because it's a really good car regardless of which star count that I have that I eventually get. And I would say, just because we have the time attack event going on, I would say prioritize the Owl last. So
just because we have the time attack, it's very accessible still.
Yeah, I would prioritize the Owl last, and I would actually go for the 300 plus over the Owl, just because we have the event going on.
Also, I think I should clarify this, that between even though like we are saying the time attack is a much better value proposition as compared to the owl, but you do really have to commit to the car hunt event, the hunt for the Rimac Nevera. And the reason you have to
yeah.
commit to it is because the Rimac Nevera time attack and even the normal Rimac, both of those cars actually require a key to unlock. So you have to have the car at max to be able to play with it. Whereas for the owl, you don't really need a key, and same goes for the Mistral. So I mean, between the two cars, definitely, like Universe also said, I also have the same opinion. And yeah, definitely, I would say if you have to have a lower star car, if you can't really spend a ton of tokens and you just want a good S-Class car, you can still end up unlocking the Mistral, and it will still be a great car to use in something like Multiplayer Season 2 or maybe in career. It will still be a fun car regardless. And you can't do the same thing with any other of the cars that are in the Burst of Speed event. So yeah, and between the owl and the Rimac Nevera, definitely the owl, if you can unlock it, sure thing, but it's still not going to be a great car. Whereas if you can actually max it, if you can max any of the cars in the Burst of Speed event, and if it's the owl that you can max, then definitely instead of the owl you should go for the Nevera time attack, as that will be a much better car in the long run. Yeah, so that was the upcoming cars in Burst of Speed. I hope you are able to make a conscious decision with all the opinions that we have shared. And I would like to thank Universe and Azimo for joining me on this video. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining me, Universe, Azimo. I hope you guys have a fantastic day.